Hey, Pope! Look out! The Normans are coming! Hey, Pope! Oh my gosh, he has AirPods in. He can't hear us. Darn it! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Welcome back, gamers, to another Watermelon Slime Challenge. This video is part of a collaboration with Ipernick the Great, so make sure to check him out. I'll explain why at the end of the video. But first, a word from today's sponsor. Oh yeah, that's right. It's Christmas Day of 1130, and Roger II has just been crowned the King of Sicily by Pope Anacletus II. There was just one teeny problem. Anacletus was kind of, not really the Pope. Let's rewind. Is this what you wanted? Every once in a while, the cardinals can't quite decide who's gonna be Pope, so when they finally make their minds up, the guy that thought that he should have been Pope throws a hissy fit and just becomes Pope anyway. The Catholic world then gets confused, and there ends up being two popes at the same time. The one who threw the hissy fit is known as the anti-pope. Anacletus was an anti-pope. Gang, it feels good to be a gangster. Because of whack medieval politics, Roger II wasn't technically a king when he inherited/conquered all of his domain in southern Italy. In order to be legally recognized as a kingdom, you needed to get crowned by the Pope and establish a dynasty. Unfortunately for Roger, the Pope wasn't particularly fond of Normans like him. You see, the Normans used to be Vikings, and when they arrived in southern Italy like 100 years before, they'd kicked the Byzantines and Lombards out and just generally hadn't been the best guests. If they had, they probably wouldn't have taken over half the peninsula. So when Anacletus took over Rome without the support of the Catholic Church, Roger saw an opportunity. So, you wanna be Pope, right? And I wanna be king. Yep. So... Oh, I get it. Most of medieval Europe heard this and then just went back to shoveling their mud and dying from the plague, but one empire in particular was a bit flustered with this news. Hold up, did you crown Roger II as King of Sicily? No. Huh. Wait a minute. The Holy Roman Empire had a long history of interfering in Italy, and they figured that if they could install the real Pope, Innocent II, he'd owe them one and let them use the Lord's name in vain a few times or something. So, without giving it much thought, the Emperor Lothair III invaded Italy and was defeated by Roger. But you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Okay, I stand corrected. However, just a few months later, the anti-pope Anacletus died, leaving Innocent as the only pope. Roger did his best to try to suck up to the new pope, but Innocent was not gonna have any of it. He raised a small army and marched to confront Roger on the battlefield. Unfortunately for him, he was ambushed on the way, kidnapped by Roger, and forced to recognize him as king. During the crowning ceremony, though, Innocent revealed himself to be the petty queen he was, and gave an extra long sermon just so Roger would have to sweat under his robes in the scorching hot Italian sun. Gang, it feels good to be a gangster. After this, Robert pretty much just chilled out and enjoyed the fruits of his labor. And then he died. Roger's son, William, was not nearly as cash money as his father. This was mostly because all three of his older brothers had died and he hadn't really been expected to inherit the throne. However, people were overall pretty content with his rule and not much We back, baby! Oh. Well, in that case, I'll revolt. Oh yeah, I'll revolt too. Like screw William anyway. Your Majesty, the Byzantines have convinced a ton of local lords to rebel. This veal is really good. Care to try some?
2, 4, 6, 8, William is who we hate.
Your Majesty, shut up. Supreme is having a merch drop in 12 minutes.
2, 4, 6, 8, William is who we hate.
Your Majesty, almost all of your Italian holdings are gone. Well, why didn't you tell me earlier? But I hate my life. Surprisingly, William turned out to be a pretty good commander and was able to defeat the rebel and Byzantine forces handily. This would be the last time the Byzantines tried to reconquer southern Italy. However, when William got back to the capital of Palermo, he just went back to living the high life and left the kingdom in the hands of his advisor, Maione of Bari. Maione was an excellent statesman, but turned out to be super unpopular and was assassinated by a group of political rivals, throwing the kingdom into chaos. In the confusion, a group of dissatisfied nobles, led by a couple of William's family members, stormed the palace and held him hostage. However, just like movie villains, they weren't able to figure out whether or not they wanted to kill him, and the populace of Palermo rallied around William in the meantime, storming the castle and saving the king. Figuring that he had had enough excitement for a lifetime, William settled back down to his normal routine of hunting, relaxing, and just ignoring his duties as king. He died 6 years later in 1166. William II, what are you doing? You're only 12, you can't be king! Aw, come on, Mom. Stop talking back to me. Now, take off that robe and play some Fortnite or something. Oh. Okay. When William II finally became king in 1171, he inherited a strong, independent kingdom that didn't need no man. He ruled fairly well, albeit with the same hands-off approach as his father. However, he made the one big oopsie of his reign in 1177. In July of that year, William II sent a delegation to Venice to negotiate a treaty with the Holy Roman Emperor after the two countries' latest war. In the treaty, William agreed to give his aunt Constance up for marriage to the emperor's son. This was inconvenient because William had previously made Constance his emergency heir if he died unexpectedly. This meant that if William died without having a kid, Constance, and therefore the Holy Roman Empire, would inherit the Kingdom of Sicily. And then William II died unexpectedly without a kid. This marked the end of Norman rule in Sicily. Congratulations! You played yourself! The Kingdom of Sicily kept pretty much the same borders for the next 700 years, simply getting traded between dynasties. If you want to learn about the final dynasty that controlled this kingdom, make sure to check out Ipernick the Great's video. Link is in the description.